Hello everyone, this is H to the Husky here. I am finally back from PAX and MLG, so I am ready to cast some StarCraft right now. And so, this is going to be between Huck, the red Protoss, down here in the bottom center, and his opponent is going to be Mouse MorroW up here in the top center. It's kind of a light blue, baby blue, kind of the color of my car blue Terran. So, of course, it is a Terran versus Protoss. And really quick, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that it said Mouse. M-O-U-Z. I've had a lot of people from other countries tell me that it said Mouse. So hopefully I'm getting that correct. Although I'm just going to call it MorroW anyways, because Mouse is just their clan that they're in. So this is from the GosuCoaching, I think it's a show match, and I looked it up. I think it is a best of 7. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is a show match, a best of 7 from GosuCoaching. And I know In Control is part of GosuCoaching. And In Control could beat me up in real life, so I don't want to make him mad. But regardless, I actually cast this game. I got about halfway through it, and then I was like, oh, my microphone's muted. Fantastic. So I usually don't preview games before I cast them, like, at all. Unless it's obviously a game that, you know, I played or something. But I messed up. My microphone was muted, so I do apologize for that. But there was one problem in last game. I kept saying, keep in mind, or take note. And so I'm just trying to imagine everyone, if I would have uploaded that with the audio, everyone having like their little notepads, and every time I'm like, take note that he is spawning as Protoss, and everyone's like jotting it down and all that stuff. Yeah, so I'm recasting this whole game, and hopefully there's no technical difficulties. Please let me know if there's anything wrong, because as most of you know, if you follow me on Facebook, if you don't follow me on Facebook, go to facebook.com/HuskyStarcraft right now. My computer died, so this is the first game I'm casting after the format. Oh, Epic Sliding Probe! Yes, I love you. Caught the very end of it right there. And so, yeah, so let me know if there's anything wrong. If the audio levels are wrong, if my microphone's muted, you know, all that good stuff. Just let me know what's up. Okay, so I want to talk about these opening build orders because it's funny to read comments on the internet and everyone's like, oh my god, Husky doesn't talk about the opening comments and like, it's just so not cool. I want to know what they're doing, even though it's like the same opening every single game. So the opening this guy went was he got his supply depot, then he got his barracks. As the barracks is building, he got his refinery, then he got his second supply depot, and now he's getting a factory. So that'll get those people all happy there. And Huck, I was keeping an eye on it. He actually went for pylon, of course, then his gateway, then his gas, then his assimilator, and then he put a pylon right here, which this is actually kind of cool. What you can do with this pylon right here, not only does it spot for Reapers and stuff jumping up here, and also for proxy buildings right here, you can actually warp units behind the grass, or you can warp them right here to get a flank on a possible attack against you. So that's actually really good placement. And we should be seeing, since he is saving up here, it looks like he's getting the robotics, which is exactly what he's doing right now. So his robotics facility is going to be on the way. Do note, see, I have to make sure I get that in here, saying do note enough, so that it's like last time, so that you guys can still make fun of me for saying it way too much. So, do note that he got the robotics before his second gateway, which this is just really a preference thing. I mean, there's a lot of different... Well, I mean, you can go 2 gateways and then get your robotics. You can go a gateway and then your robotics and then your second gateway. And those are pretty much the 2 basic standard openers against Terran. So it does look like Huck actually got a Stalker first, which is standard. It helps you deal with Reapers, helps you deal with that scouting SCV. And then he went straight for the Sentry. And I want to mention that he's using, he got his second gas really, really early. I wouldn't say it was like, you know, earlier than standard, but he got it in his build order early enough that he can get the Sentry, he can get the Stalker, he can get the Warp Gates, and he can get a robotics facility. So you want to make sure to get all 6 probes on gas. And there is the observer on the way. This is really, really standard. To get that observer when you get your robotics before that second gateway, because you have a little buffer window where it's a lot safer to get that observer out instead of having to force out an immortal. So it looks like MorroW is going to be going for siege tanks. And usually what this means is they'll throw down a couple more bunkers, or barracks rather, excuse me, and get out a bunch of Marines. So you'll go kind of Marine siege tank, maybe try and throw in a Ghost, or if there's some Colossus, kind of get some Vikings or something like that. So that's what we can expect to see here from MorroW. Now, this is kind of an older school build. This is StarCraft 1 style where you get a lot of siege tanks against Protoss. But Protoss has a lot of counters now to this sort of build. There's Storm, there's Immortals, even Colossus can be useful. Not as much, though, because siege tanks do outrange the Colossus. And this poor scouting Marine is going to die as that stalker is way too fast, and he does kill him. It was interesting how MorroW landed here and then made it a Marine to scout, and it does look like Huck is going to get his full scouting in with this observer. This is standard, though. The Terran has to expect this, but, I mean, really, Huck is going to like what he sees when he's flying through here. He's seeing the timing of the expansion, and he's seeing that there's siege tanks and Marines on the way, and he also saw that there was a reactor on the way, so he's going to be expecting more Marines, and so he's going to be cool with that, and the reason he's going to be cool with that is because it allows him to get his expansion, and the tech path that he is going to be getting him Immortals, which is exactly what we're seeing right now, and he also has his Twilight Council. So we could see one of three things, or a mix. We could see Blink Stalkers, Charge Lots, or a Fast Psy Storm. So all that stuff is good against the build that MorroW is going. Now, that's not to say that MorroW's build is bad, it's just that Huck is reacting in the way that you basically need to react to this build. You have to get the charge lots to get on top of the Marines, or you have to get the Blink Stalkers to get on top of the tanks, or you have to get the Psy Storm to deal with the Marines. If you just go Zealot Stalker with no upgrades, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. One thing I do like that Huck is actually doing is he has units killing the high rocks, the high yield expansion rocks. He has a couple units down here at the watchtower, and where were they? There's some more attacking units over here somewhere. But he has his army spread out. There they are. They're over at this other watchtower. So if we take a look at his vision, he can, if I select him, he can see so much. He can see when the Terran is moving out. He can see the entire center of the map, and then he, of course, could see this down here while he was killing it. And also, the reason I like that he spread out his units like this is that when MorroW scans, when he scans Huck, he's only going to see this stuff right here. He's not going to see the gateway, he's not going to see the robotics, and that's not coming into play as much now as it did early in the earlier game. But, I mean, if the scan isn't right on the money, he's not going to see that Templar Archives either. And he's not going to catch the entire army. Now, MorroW has been playing very defensive. He originally had a bunker up here, then he put a bunker down here, and now he's just making a supply depot wall right here. And he has his siege tanks placed in a very defensive way. He's not trying to be greedy. It's so tempting to try and put your tanks right here to cover your entire entrance, but then Stalkers boom right there, your tank's dead, and you are a sad Terran player indeed to be losing those. So MorroW is playing very defensive. If we look at the circle here, he's covering his entire expansion except for a little bit of stuff right here. And has the blink finished? Yes, the blink is now completed. So it looks like he's actually going to be trying to go up here, and this is really good map usage right here. This is something a lot of players always forget to do. This refinery looks like it's going to go down, but I want to mention really quick, he actually goes to the high yield expansion and then blinks this across this chasm. Is it chasm or chasm? I always forget. I think it's chasm. And then, so now he's up on the high ground. So kind of reverse rolls here. Usually you'll see a Terran player do this. So now he is going to be doing stalker harassment here. He's killed 2 or 3 SCVs already. More are going down, and then he can blink out of there as soon as the siege tank gets into position to defend. But now these stalkers are kind of stuck as the siege tank range is going to reveal basically this whole ledge. Although once we have to wait for the barracks to get over here to spot these. But it is going to be very, very difficult for Huck to actually get out of here. Do note the Kydarian Amulet is on the way, which means Psystorm has completed. And so once those High Templars warp in, he's going to try and get out of here. And look at that! Once again, using the map absolutely perfect. Most people don't know you can blink across here. This Stalker got left behind because his blink was a total fail, although he was able to get out of there. But like, he blinked from here all the way to here. And you got to know your maps when you're playing in a high-level game. You have to know everywhere you can do anything. And the Ghost is now on the way. I don't know if one has finished yet. No, it has not. So a Ghost is making, which of course does mean that EMP. And look at this.